I think, as you all know, around 35 to 40, around 36% or so is the IT sector, the contribution of Karnataka in the IT sector. Yes, we have been, because of our engineering colleges in the past and various steps taken during the initial stages. Yes, IT has been one of the, I would say, India has been the Silicon Valley of India. Now, coming to other sectors, I think as far as manufacturing is concerned, I think we are way behind vis-a-vis, say, Chennai or Tamil Nadu or other states. As far as manufacturing is concerned, I am of the opinion that, for example, I was in Japan last 2 months back in September, and we had a MOU with the Osaka mayor. I signed a memorandum of understanding, BCIC and the Osaka mayor, wherein we signed a MOU specifically for promotion of trade between India and Japan in the area of manufacturing. Why manufacturing? As far as Osaka, the Kansai region is very strong in manufacturing, whether take it AI, take it IoT, and they are very, very keen to share their technical, do technical collaboration with Indian companies. So that is one thing where the Chamber of Commerce is trying to see to that. One good thing which has happened is now the new manufacturing practices has a lot of technology. So in a way, Karnataka is benefited. But as far as manufacturing, I still feel the government of Karnataka has to give a lot more impetus. We do have the electronic, we have the Apple unit here in Bangalore. But I am of the opinion, as far as manufacturing, we are much behind other states. Ma'am, as far as AI is concerned, I know there's a lot of hype about AI. Yes, AI has been a very good, I would say, AI is helping a lot, whether it is in the industry or even take as a chartered accountant. We find that AI is helping us a lot. But let us also understand, AI per se cannot take care of all our requirements. In fact, sometime back, I was attending one seminar where Sindhu Gangadharan, the head of SAP, said, as far as AI is concerned, till 80-90% AI can do, but the last 10% is what a human has to do. That human touch has to be there. AI as such cannot. Today, a leave letter or anything, whatever I ask, now for example, you give me 4 questions, I put it in ChatGPT or any other software and we get all the answers. But that doesn't look authentic. And I think we also should understand that a few days back, I read an article where the thinking of AI is again when it is done by the company. They want to see to that whatever they have in their mind, they want the people to follow that. So that again, I would say AI as such, I would say might be good for repetitive jobs. Yes, very good. Not for other things. Ma'am, as far as manufacturing unit is concerned, I was in Taiwan some time back. See what has happened. They were manufacturers of pump sets. So what happens is IoT is playing a major role. Now what is happening? Getting labor has become a big problem. I think you are aware, labor is a big and cost of labor with the labor laws. You see the labor laws are so stringent, and getting labor at the lower level has become very tough. Now we also have to go according to the newer technologies. We have to use robotics. We have to use. In fact, I've seen 2 factories, one beside the other, called CDC in Taiwan, and we found that in the old system there are a number of employees. The other one, we had a robot picking up, doing everything, hardly any people. So this is going to be the future, because we have to understand that until and unless we get skilled manpower, it's going to be very tough. And skilled manpower is one area where I feel the government has to take more and more efforts. The reason being, when we talk to the foreign companies, German or Japanese companies, they say, do you have skilled manpower to run our machines? We find that we are more generic, more generalized training, not specialized training what the Japanese have. Now what they say is, we have told them, we have signed a memorandum of understanding with small and medium enterprises of Japan. We also signed with the Osaka government. What we are telling them is, train the trainers. You cannot, the market is so huge in India. What we suggest is, you send your trainers, train the trainers. This trainer in turn will train. So that is what is going to happen, because that is one of the main reason why most of the companies from abroad are finding a problem getting good skilled labor. I'll tell you what has happened, sir. There is a mismatch between the engineers who come out of the college and the requirement of the industry. I think industry institute interface is very, very, very important. In fact, we have a committee where we see this. For example, let me take my own profession. I'm a chartered accountant. Now, what do I want? I require a student who comes into my office to work on the accounting softwares, who work on MS Office, to know the what are the statutory compliances, whether it is GST, PT, PF, labor laws. We want these sort of students who are skilled in that. Now what is happening? Most of the students who come out from commerce, they don't know anything. It requires at least 6 months of training or practical training for them to be employable from day one. Now what happens? They come to us, and when we train them for 6 months, and after that they migrate. So I would rather pay more and get skilled people. So this skill, in fact, one of the challenges what most of the industries are facing today, and you also know there are engineers who will get 2 lakhs and the engineers will get 25,000 also. What is the reason? Because it is again on the institution, it is again on the candidate, but more importantly, I feel the government should sit across with the industry, sit across with the universities, and see to that gap is, otherwise it's going to be very tough. We'll have a lot of people, unskilled people, they don't know anything. You talk about engineers, I am sure you also have a lot of, you're also recruiting people, you know, whether it is media or anything. This is going to be a very big challenge until unless we, in fact, we have also a part of the skill training program with the government of Karnataka. The challenge is they have a problem in getting skilled people, that is students. Coming for the skilling itself is less in some of the, I think Mysore they have a very good response, and the skill development mission which is happening, it's happening, but still I personally feel until and unless the industry and the universities sit across and the government mediates and see to that these sort of students are skilled in a way which is required. I think that is a big challenge, and I think end of the day, the reasons for unemployment is that only. We have very, very unskilled, I mean, the students who come out of the colleges are not, I would say, fit for the job today in any. See, ma'am, as far as internship, now I think there was a news item which said they have to do their internship in the 7th semester, and there are a number of students who have. I got about 10 students to my office from adjacent college, and we just took one. I'll tell you what is the problem with internship. What's in it for the employer or the person who's training? Now, the person who comes here, they are only bothered about getting a certificate. They're just wanting a certificate and comply with whatever the university says, and they get marks for that. Now, according to me, this internship should not be for one semester, the 8th, 7th semester. They should be an ongoing. Maybe every 2 semesters, they have to spend 1 month or 2 months in one of the organizations and get a proper training. Otherwise, this internship, I would say, is just for the paper's sake and not reality. And I do not know about people paying for it, because we also know, we also understand a lot of youngsters would like to get into the industry. But I can only tell you, in all these cases, we find the quality of the students are really bad. They talk about, we are in social media, we are in hospitality management. See, in hospitality management, I find they work for a couple of months in a hotel. That really gives their experience. Now, until today, there is a tremendous, we talk about of unemployment, but there is a tremendous gap for in the accounting field, sir. Today in accounting, we have there's a requirement. For example, there are new software. It could be SAP, it could be Zoho, it could be Tally. But people having this knowledge is not available in the market today. So until and unless we take more steps and see that skilling is very important, I feel our skill sets are not comparable to any of the foreign countries where it is very focused. And I think there was also a recent chart which says plumbers and electricians get more money than the engineer or a degree person. See, this aspect has to be so in this connection. What we are also trying to do is, we have given a proposal to the government of Karnataka stating one of the challenges we find when we do, because we have an office in Japan, in Tokyo. One of the challenges we find is the knowledge of Japanese. Now, what the Japanese expect is, you please learn our language, then you come here. Now, that is one challenge. What we are trying to say is, and there are number of jobs in Japan today. The availability of manpower is less. It's a very aging society, and the market is, they want more and more youngsters to come and skill. And there are some programs which is happening in Bangalore, where they train them for 6 months, they learn the local language, and then they send them to, and they promise a job. You're assured of a job. But how many people are willing to go there? That is another challenge. So we are trying to tell we get a lot of delegations across the world. In fact, BCIC, we have a what you call as the International Business Committee, where I am the chair. So we have been having a number of delegations coming across the world, and everybody is seeing India as a very big market. Now, this big market is what we have to, because of the we have the advantage of having a young population. But how do we take advantage of that and ensure that they get a good job? I can tell you one thing. Across India, I would say the first step they want to do is Bangalore. I have signed a memorandum of understanding with UAE, with Singapore International Chamber of Commerce. All these people are looking at Bangalore. And now what we find is Bangalore, less said the better about the infrastructure. This is one really bad thing. Yeah. So it's one really bad thing about infrastructure. We have to, I don't know, in fact, we also had the government telling us to give CSR funds for government schools. See, what happens about CSR is, the corporate sector has funds, and these funds, CSR funds, can be utilized as per the law. Companies Act provides what are the areas: education, medical, and all that. And these funds have to utilize by as per the CSR committee. They have a committee. They have some goals. Each company has its own objectives. This company wants to do it education, another company wants to do it in primary education, or somebody wants to do it in the hospital. So now what is the challenge is, now if you start putting guidelines, no, you have to adopt only government schools, this is a problem. I think some of the ease of doing business is where we are having a big challenge. I think government has to be a little more. They have been taking a lot of good steps, but some of the laws are a little. One has to also consider the neighboring states. What is the position of the neighboring states now? I don't want to go into, what should I say, areas where it is controversial. But we have been talking to the government on a regular basis. We have been requesting them until and unless we do not take positive steps, we cannot attract the investment into Karnataka. But despite all that, we have the foreigners coming into it. But you can see how Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, all Maharashtra, they are going ahead of us. I think this is where, again, it is because of the situation here in Karnataka. As far as the chambers are concerned, we are in the constant dialogue with the government and trying to tell them, yes, for example, minimum wages. This is one challenge. Whether it's electricity tariff is another one. Labor laws is one. So if you go on getting these sort of conditions, how can a company run?
Since we've been talking about Japan and Japan's job crisis, so there have been studies and reports like on and on about that having a direct correlation with how archaic their job structure is, in the sense that if you, in the sense of the limitations that they impose, in the sense that, if you want to leave a job, the structures in place, the system in place would make it incredibly hard for you to give. For India example, like we have a standardized 1 month notice period or even 3 month notice period. In Japan, there have been documented cases of people actively being harassed by the workforce there, by the employers, and they have been driven to suicide even. So this is a documented case for Japan, which has a direct correlation with the job crisis and the low birth rate. So would you really encourage labor from Karnataka to relocate to Japan without having
I think these are all one-off cases. We have been. I will tell you what has happened. As far as the labor is concerned, I don't, at least as far as we are concerned, we still had a delegation a couple of days back from the government of MS. In fact, about 5-member delegation came from the Kansai region, MSME, from the government, federal government. What was their intention? You will be surprised. They wanted to know what are the incentives, subsidies, etc., given by the government to the local MSMEs. So they would like to understand that. Based on that, they would like to help their MSMEs is one, and also find out what is not given so that we can support and get them. Now, for example, again, why I am saying about Japan, we have an office in Japan, we do a lot of interaction with Japan. I will tell you, they have one hub in Osaka. This hub is about future medicine. This is about future medicine, genomics, things like what will you be after 25 years? What are the challenges in the medical field and what are the new technologies we can. So it is a hub of about 25 private companies, the startups, innovation companies, the government. And they have provided a fantastic infrastructure, and you pay 10,000 rupees to stay for a month in that they provide the space for that. So here what we found, when we went to Osaka to the expo, we found a health pavilion. They are very specialized in health. Now and the object is very simple. They would like to share all this, the genomic study or any of the applied research in the medical society. So now what I personally feel is somewhere we are all very generalistic. We have to be a little more specialized. See, as far as Karnataka, Bangalore is concerned, I think you all know there are some certain challenges. When you talk about metro, it can't be done overnight. I think certain areas where it could be done well, for example, is waste disposal. Garbage, that can be done in a very nice manner. I mean, now, I think in an open meeting, in one of our meetings, he openly said, I am unable to what should I say, challenge the garbage mafia. He said that. Open meeting. Because they are so entrenched. Now the problem is, why are we not mechanizing it? Now we asked I mean, not generally. Why you're not mechanizing? Use sweeping machines. No, sir, there's a problem. What is the problem? Can you believe? Say, employees, na? They say unemployment. People will not get employment. They want more and more employees to be benefited. I think this traffic is going to be a big problem. They should probably, like in Singapore, no, in the CBD areas, they have a charge. You have to pay some 1,000 rupees, 500 rupees, 100 rupees, something to use it for a couple of hours. No, I think that sort of system has to come. Otherwise, it's going to be very tough, very very tough. No, no, yes. Some of the challenges, whether it is waste disposal or the traffic, is really very bad. And think most of the people who come here, they are a little worried about that. I think until unless we take some drastic steps of stopping the registration of cars, why can't we limit it? But the other side is they want more revenue. Every car you get a couple of lakhs or 4-5 lakhs, or depending on the there are lifetime road tax. That is on the other side. The government wants revenue. Ma'am, as far as the union budget is concerned, I'd just like to mention now, when it is tax, I think the tax has been very, very, I would say, not much variation. Earlier, union budget means, oh, what is the basic exemption? Is it gone up? All that is gone now. I think the government has not tinkering with that much. But what we are asking the government, we send a memorandum to the government. We are telling them, why don't you make tax simple? Meaning, for example, TDS. TDS is very tedious. We are telling them TDS provisions, make it simple. You'll not believe your accountant, if you ask your finance people, to say there are a lot of should I say, rates, and then exemptions, then threshold limit, and then it is your job to do all that, and the government can see it's a government's job which you are doing. We even said some time back, why don't you give an incentive? For example, you generate, you pay about 1 crore of TDS. You give some. Why don't you give some incentive to the employer? He has to employ people and do that. So that is one TDS we have said. They have to a great extent. In fact, I don't know whether you are aware, non-payment of TDS or delayed payment was criminalized. You could be put behind bars. That was removed last time. We want that. See, you're dealing with business, you're doing something. Just because one or two people, bad people, collected money, did not pay, you should not see everybody in the same way. This is one thing we have suggested as far as this one is concerned. Then another point about manufacturing. Now we are asking, you give additional depreciation. They are giving 20% in the for the first year. Subsequent year also we are saying, you give more depreciation. Until and unless, see today what has happened, because of the US tariff, I think you're all aware, garment industry has gone down by 40%. Garment industry. And then diamond, it's also come down very drastically. Now, what are they doing? They are to a certain extent asking their customer to reduce their cost, and they are also taking and it's not easy with certificate of origin. You cannot just go to, I am told, if you have a thing in Dubai or Oman and you can ship it there, but you have to do value add for more than 60%, which case can't put button and say that origin is there. So until and unless this thing is sorted out with the US, this tariff, some of the industries are very badly hit. And secondly, in terms of, one thing I appreciate about the Minister of Commerce is they're taking a lot of steps to sign the agreements, free trade agreements. They've done it with Australia, New Zealand, UK, and even UAE. All these have done, and I think they should hasten it faster so that I think EU also something is happening. But I know that they have signed, but it takes another 6 months for that government, that parliament to pass the law and then come back. I think government is, I would say, the Minister of Commerce, Piyush Goyal, are doing a good job in seeing these FTAs are hastened and expedited, and that is happening. But still, this particular aspect of our Trump's thing, everybody is suffering. It's not just us, everybody is suffering. And when you come to then another point I wanted to just, we are telling the ministry, finance ministry, the customs. See, there's one, despite the fact, for example, in income tax, we have faceless assessments. Everything is digitized. I think earlier we used to go to the government departments and talk to the officer, inspector and all that. All that is gone now. Similarly, in the customs, there are certain challenges what is faced by the exporters, particularly in terms of getting clearances, in terms of getting incentives, refunds. These are all the challenges what people are still facing. We are telling them to make everything digital. By digitizing it to a great extent, the red tape is gone. I think they are working on that, but I still feel digitalization has to be done. Otherwise, it's going to be very tough. And as far as the other aspect about MSME, what we are telling is MSME, the challenge is R&D. They don't have money to spend on research and development. So we are telling them, why don't you give some incentive? For example, if I spend 10 lakhs, you give a additional thing, like earlier we used to have exported 80 HSC was there, where if you spend 100, you get 133 or 150 as an expenditure. So until unless this R&D and credit to SMEs is another problem. I think the banks don't give credit, or there are some good schemes are there, but still the MSMEs are facing an issue regarding technology. They're all owner driven, smaller companies. You'll not believe the MSME in foreign countries are big companies, in terms of turnover. So the MSMEs are looking at the free flow of credit is one aspect. The second is the government has to give them more and more. This one, as far as this is concerned, that is they should get some benefit for R&D. No, government has to spend. Government has to give them some incentives. Otherwise, our MSMEs will not be able to sustain. To tell you frankly, today, lot of MSMEs are suffering. Our industrial layout, the Pina industrial layout, all of them, maintenance is horrible. So what is that? Why the other one this electronics city association, ELISA, na? ELSITA, they're doing extremely well. What is happening? The corporation tax or the municipal tax is going to the local panchayat, and the money is not being utilized there. We have given a representation by all the council of association, all the chambers of commerce have formed a small council, and we have told them, please let the funds be utilized there. Otherwise, it's very bad. And particularly, you please let me know, when we take these foreigners to any of these areas, what is this? Why is it so bad? So this again, and if you go to some of the other countries where the cluster approach is very important. This cluster approach, no doubt, the government of Karnataka has said the jean garments in Bellary, toys in Chennapatna and all that. But cluster approach, they have to give more and more emphasis and see to that common facility center is provided by the government, and logistics is good. See, the logistics is another area. For example, a study has been made. It is found the logistics cost in India is double compared to China, or 60 to 70% more than other countries. So that itself is a impediment for exporters, because it will cost a lot of money for them to export. So the logistics cost has to be reduced. How can you reduce? Your connectivity.
Why is it so high?
Connectivity, ports, roads, railways, everything should be interconnected in the proper way. Freight corridor should be there.
Despite all the improvement in road connectivity.
No. So today, you tell me, our exports from Karnataka, is a lot of things go diverted to Chennai, and couple of in Andhra Pradesh we have one more port, right? So a couple of these ports. So actual exports from Karnataka is not reflected properly because our connectivity is poor. So until and unless these sort of things are taken care, a focus is there, and the government works on that, I think that would be a great boon for the exporters. Otherwise, we go on talking about all these problems, but we talk about, I'll tell you, I deal with foreign companies which come to India for the India entry strategy. We help them. I help foreign companies which come to India, whether Japanese, German, Czech Republic. First, for them to get a clearance, I know, I think you're aware, it takes at least 2 to 3 months to get a company incorporated. Incorporation of a company gets minimum 3 months. After that, what happens? You for an allotment of land. Now, this allotment of land is another big problem. We all talk about single window agency. After single window agency, what we expect is everything is done by them. They say, this is your land, this is your cost, this is what you do. No. You are again directed to another department, KDB. And the KDB tells, I don't have this, I don't have that, I have this, this is the thing. Now, by the time you go through all this, it's 6 months. By the time you register, it will be another 3 months. So, these sort of bottlenecks have to be sorted out. Because we we come across with companies, they say, in fact, we have these Indo-Japan business summits every year. And one of the challenges what the Consul General tells us, sir, it is very nice to sign a memorandum for understanding, MOU, very good, very nice. You all took a picture, got a photograph, it's done. But end of the day, there's no follow-up. So we said, okay, we will do a follow-up. We'll ensure that, see, again, it reflects on our country. Follow-up is very essential. So we are...
shows the numbers in global investors. After every global investors meet, the state government gives some numbers. How true it is?
Madam, what is that number? What do they say that? They say it is a what do you call it? No. They give a word, expression of interest. They don't say, they have expression of interest. So, expression of interest is a 100. What is reality? Something. What really happens? Well,
The execution of interest is not there.
So is that the reason why these tier 2 and tier cities beyond Bangalore are not growing? Because government is not
yes.
showing
It's
What is the problem?
it's a very good question you asked. In fact, I was ready for that to answer that. I'll tell you. Point 1. The government said, please don't come to Bangalore, go to Mysore, Hubli, Belgaum, Mangalore, etc. Fine. Okay, good. We agree with that. It's a good step. And the quality of life is much better. But what is the challenge? I will tell you, Japanese cluster came near Tumkur. They said, we have to travel from Bangalore to Tumkur every day. I said, why? This is a real fact. I said, sir, what facilities do you have in Tumkur, sir? Now, what is it they want? I will tell you what they want. Point number 1. They want premier educational institutions. It may be international school or some good college. One, education. Next, they want hospitals, not a government hospital. They want a multi-speciality hospital. They want that sort of a hospital there. Because if they have their parents, they have to take care. No? Something happens somewhere. Hospital. Third one, they said, we want good housing, premier housing, good housing facility, not that local wala. So something what you get in Bangalore, that's sort of housing close to the ecosystem. Now, and then the mobility, they are able to reach the city easily. Now, if you provide all this, we are ready to go there. How can my children go to those local schools? Now, if the government says, okay, I am going to spend 1,000 crores or whatever crores, and say this is the hospitals, these are the finest educational institutions, or give some sort of subsidy to, because they also require people to go there. All that ecosystem is prepared, then tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities can prosper. Otherwise, it will not. This is a reality which we have had experience with the some of the expats who have come here. Now, if this can be done, tier 2, tier 3, all can grow very well. So why forget them? The people who are in the tier 2 cities are coming to Bangalore. Why are they coming to Bangalore? Because of opportunities, because of the infrastructure, whatever, better than their infrastructure. Because of all that, they're coming here. Now, if these 2-3 things, if the government is able to take care and provide this facility, I'm sure people will go.
But they've been announcing this from very long. Cluster,
Huh?
industrial cluster in Gulbarga, garment
Yeah.
cluster in Ballari. Why isn't it being made so far?
Why isn't it?
Why
It's
hasn't
there.
it
It
been
is there.
made
The
so
cluster
far?
is there, ma'am. Cluster is already
Infrastructure is.
infrastructure
Building
is there.
standing.
No. What I'm trying to say is, if see, one is cluster, another is why tier 2, tier 3 cities people are not going.
Business, economy is not there. Business is not there.
No, business is there. The problem is not that the infrastructure is not there. Main thing is infrastructure. If infrastructure is not there, all these facilities of education, hospitals, and the medical, and the logistics and all, and housing, if these three, four things are there, I can tell you frankly, it can happen. These are the three, four things, and accessibility. And accessibility, I think roads are all pretty good now. That's no problem. If the government can create that, why will anybody want to come back? Now, do you tell me Devanalli and all that particular areas are booming, and people don't want to come all the way here. And other day we had one design uru. We had one interaction between Ms. Atik, Mahesh Rao, and our BCIC. We signed MOU with the Architects Association. It was mentioned very clearly, if but for metro, the traffic is still worse. Just imagine metro is not there for one day. So we, until and unless we have to, these things are not done, it's going to be very, very tough. I think government is, I wouldn't say they're not doing, they are doing, but they also, it is not sufficient. I think public partnership, I think earlier during SM Krishna's time, we used to have this BPAC or something, no? Something like that they had. That sort of involvement is very, very critical. Otherwise, I don't know. Tell me about pollution. So bad. Why can't we, when we talk, I think we are better than Delhi. Yeah, pollution. So until this wind, all these, wind, solar, all that, we have to, sustainability is very important. If we don't get into that, I'm sure we are going to face a lot of problems in the future. See, the expectation, the minimum, see, I'll tell you, okay. There's a labor, what do you call? Department of Labor has got this, what do you call that, where they take the body, where there are representatives from the employer side, representatives from the employee side, and the number of people from the employer side is minuscule, about 2, 3, whereas about 7, 8 are from the other side. So there is a majority that side. Now, let us, if you talk about politics, yes, they want to side them because it's a number game. We are less, they are more. Now, as far as minimum wages is concerned, we have to be viable. If we are not able to, make our cost attractive, how can we even do any business? Please tell us. You can't export. You can't do anything. So, if you go on telling now recently, the labor code has come. I think still the government of the rules has to be framed by the state government. The labor code has come, but this labor code, no doubt, a lot of. Tell me, what are the paperwork for a company as far as the labor is concerned? Very high. You have that one day off for menstruation, and the ladies, all that has come. See, there are a lot of challenges for that. Whom to give, whom not to give, why, how. See, but these are. I don't know why certain things are being done only to please a part of the population. But from the company point of view, they want ease of doing business. Make things very simple. We are ready to pay tax. We are ready to do everything. But make it simple. Don't harass. No doubt, compared to the past, with digitization, a lot of improvement is, but still there is scope for improvement. Still scope. Otherwise, doing business industry in any place, it's going to be too many laws. Statutory compliances, plenty. Tell me, one day you delay filing your ROC annual return to pay a few lakhs. And if every day 200 rupees for one form, another form 200 rupees, 400 into, and you can't liquidate a company easily. That's another challenge. Liquidation of companies, it's very tedious. So ease of doing business is very important. Though technology is there, everything is there, but still sometimes you have to still go there and sort it out. Ma'am, today I think the growth is happening towards Devnali side, north side. Number of GCC companies are coming to India, coming to Karnataka in fact. Now, if you ask me, what do we have the capacity? I personally feel, yes, we might have the capacity, but do we have the infrastructure? No, we don't have the infrastructure. I think until unless that becomes a city by itself, Devnali and other side is one city, and Hoskote or Kolar, until unless you bifurcate them and do it, choking is happening right now in the city. There's a choke, particularly in terms of pollution, in terms of traffic. I don't know how government is thinking about traffic, because they're double-edged sword. On one hand, you want cars to come. In fact, we have informally we told them, why don't you charge a fee? And now BBMP election, now there's no corporators, elections are coming. See how we are again going back to paper. I think we have to see what will happen with the bifurcation of all these BBMP, for northeast, southwest, and all that. One of the suggestions given by Ms. Atik was, when we go to Europe, we find a fantastic place in the middle of the city where all the people come and enjoy, have games. You go to European countries, no? The city center, they have a big 2-3 acres of land where people. So we should create that ecosystem, and the corporate should support. The corporate should support it. So that they are looking at that sort of a thing. Yes, corporates are ready to support, but everything should, the government also should take responsibility on certain of these basic amenities to the public at large. At the chamber we have a startup committee. Startup committee, startups, how are they doing? I would say the success rate of startup, I think is hardly 2 to 3%. Because startup is what? Idea which is implementable, which is practical. So we all find youngsters saying, this idea we can do. Practical experience is very important. Mentoring is important. And yes, there have been very good startups which have been successful, particularly in the defense sector, in the robotics area. Yes, they are doing well. And I think we have to encourage them. We give startup awards every year. We have also, as I mentioned to you earlier, we have tied up for startup cooperation with foreign countries. Now, everybody is looking at startups, and particularly in the newer areas, like robotics, AI, IoT, and all, they're very strong. They're good. They're good. But earlier, Burning Money was a good startup. I feel startups, we have to mentor them. Mentoring is very important. They should understand they're all youngsters. I can tell you 75 to 80% of the startups, they do not know about statutory compliance. They do not know about financial management. They do not know how the books have to be made properly, statutory compliance have to be done. If you don't file these returns, then what happens? All these things, because of ignorance and the cost. What is happening is, once they get into a bigger size, I mean, in the sense, once there are some VC funding happening, then when they do due diligence, they get caught. Then they say, this is not, there is not. So they are also, at that point of time, they become more active and see to that they do the complaint. But as far as startup, yes, Startup is always good. I mean, but success rate is not that great. And we have to continue. There have been very good startups who have been very successful, and we from the chamber are very keen to help startups. In fact, we charge them about 30% of what we charge a normal member. We charge them only 3,500 rupees for 2 years. You say you just pay that. You link yourself with, get networked with other companies, and later on you can get in. So we are also encouraging startups. They are a part of our ecosystem. All youngsters, because they are going to be the future entrepreneurs. And as you've seen, many people have done very well, and a lot of them have failed also. So it has to. It's good. I think the startup ecosystem, particular for the newer technologies, technologies, no, where the deep tech technology, no, is very good. They're, I would say, I think a Hyderabad-based company did good in robotics. Indian companies also doing in aviation, defense, those sort of industry. I feel, because what has happened, it was just the government doing it, HAL or other ones. Now only L&T and Adani and a couple of others have come, Dynamatic and all. Now I think that is one area where a lot of things are happening, and it's a good step. And the government is also encouraging our Mr. Priyank Kharge as giving a lot of impetus by giving some elevate and all. I think startup should be there. It should be properly mentored. Mentoring is very important. What has happened, the once in startups, there are a lot of people who have struggled for many years, burnt their hands. There's no safety net, sir. No. The safety is if there have been investment by VC funders or
Then they're safe.
yeah, that sort of investments, yes, they take the risk and they take the what do you call, the returns also. In fact, in many countries, we have seen the start. For example, we have the Sharjah Innovation Center. He's got a startup ecosystem. They help them a lot. Now, what they say in some startups, what they do, they invest money. Meaning, I do a service. I'll tell them, you can't afford, na? Give me equity. Give me equity. Tomorrow, if the startup does well, so I take the risk. I don't get anything, but if it clicks, I could get a good appreciation. So that also is being done by some of the, yeah. Sir, personally, if you ask me, from whatever we know, and at least from my personal viewpoint as from the chamber viewpoint, there is nothing like migration of companies from here to there, sir. No.
It's not happening.
But no. But what happens is, when there are big ticket size investments, there is some sort of an influence. I do remember I was part of the delegation with R.V. Deshpande. I was the vice president of the chamber. We had a delegation, official delegation. We chamber members also part of the delegation. We went to Toulouse. We went to Airbus. At that point of time, there was a tie for Airbus helicopters and all that, tie between Andhra and Karnataka. So when it comes to these sort of things, again, it goes on merit. You give free land, free power, free this, free that, everything. That is one. But big ticket size, let us be very frank, it is one on merits. Second, also, again, depends how the central government also supports them. All that it will be there to a certain extent. But if you talk about smaller companies and all, I think they go by the ecosystem. Today, if it is medical, they go to Andhra, Hyderabad. If it is GCC, now GCC, even Karnataka is good, but even Andhra also, there are a lot of GCCs coming up. So certain ecosystems are very ideal for them. If it is manufacturing, you see, they would like to go to Chennai or go to Pune because they have got a better availability of labor, availability of so many things. So this, according to me, most of the times these industry people, they also do some research and they know where they are more comfortable or where they are able to get that labor, that but because ultimately for the industry to prosper also, why only when you come for automotive, it's Pune and places like Chennai, and when it comes to IT, Gurugram, in Bangalore. So depending on that is how people do. For example, the Japanese company called Rakuten, it just come to Bangalore in Pallavi Theatre, 1,800 people are there. It's a GCC. And it's something like a Reliance of India, very big one. They're also our members. So they, according to me, depending on their why is Japanese companies coming to more or more to Bangalore? There are, apart from Bangalore, they also go to some of the auto sector where they are having. So we find now when you our major advantage, I feel, Bangalore is human resources. People, now you want to hire 100 developers, you can get across. And they, no, software people. And you know what is the jump? I'm a chartered accountant. I know we file tax returns. Every second year, first year they jump. And you know what is the this one increase in pay? 30%. That is the standard. I am here with you at 1 lakh. I go to him 1 lakh 30 minimum. I want that, and that happens every year. That is the type of salary jump. It started with IT. It's happening with others also. See, I'll tell you what. Here, it is more with people who have finished 5, 6, 7, 8 years of experience.
They've already developed this thing.
Yes, skills, yes, for them. So if they've already been working in somewhere, that other person is ready to pay that 20-30% more, but he wants somebody who's already got the skill sets. It's employers who's going to suffer. It is happening. It's very, very common. And today, the youngsters of today, sorry to tell you, the quality of thing is very poor. Absolutely poor. I will tell you, when I talk to some of the colleges, we also have colleges part of our ecosystem. They say, Mr. They don't want to work. They want 5 days a week. They want to work from home. They want to Friday evening they have to go out. So that is their culture. Gen Z, na? Gen Z or what? Gen Z, na? Because we are all. So that is the attitude of these youngsters, and I don't know what to say. Maybe their parents and all are well settled or whatever. But all of us at our age, we wanted to spend 30, 40, save 60 for our children, for grandchildren. No, these are all completely different. Completely different. I mean, you have to live with it. There's no option. And they are very business-like. They want. That's it. They don't care. Maybe that generation gap. We can't blame them. That is how the ecosystem works, or how their peers are. The peers are also like that.
There are 4 here.
Huh?
There are 4 here.
It's okay.
But they are not like that.
That's why they are here. No. See, I'll tell you what. Some people come from the viewpoint of learning, from the viewpoint of job satisfaction, passion. Otherwise, no. You don't have that passion, don't have that attitude. You know what? I'll tell you, you'll be shocked. I was talking to one of the college people in the college, doing a BCom, MCom, and all that. And you know what he says? Mr. Ravi, these guys want some fast money. You know what they do? They do Swiggy. He says, it's very common. I tell them, you're all students, so you learn. I say, why? No, we want some money to. So they are ready for that. I'm surprised. So they want, the thinking is very different.